6 races remain in the 2004 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series season, and for the 27th race, it's one of the most dangerous towards the end of the season. We're here at the Talladega Superspeedway in Lincoln, Alabama for the running of the EA Sports 500. This is a crazy pack race. We'll see 3 and 4 wide racing all day long, shuffling throughout the field. The championship contenders don't know where they want to be throughout the entirety of this race. All they know is they want to be there at the checkered flag near the front of the field, but nothing is a given here at the Talladega Superspeedway. I'm Jordan Cascalante in the booth, someone who knows what Talladega can be like. Trey Bardo. Trey, Superspeedway racing, 6 races left in the championship, and oh, by the way, the top 2 in the championship, Matt as well as Tim Gary, they're tied for the points lead. What more drama could you want when you come to Talladega?
Don't know, Joe. We know what all comes with this place, right? You got how many drivers racing 200 miles an hour, inches apart, 3 and 4 wide. They're trying not to wreck, but we know they're going to wreck at some point. There're going to be a lot of mad people, a lot of torn up race cars, a lot of money being thrown out of pockets and into the checkbook by the end of the weekend. What am I missing anything?
I don't think you are. I think you just described Talladega to a T, right? You basically said what Talladega is.
Yeah, I've come here a time or two, if you could believe it.
Yeah, and how many of those ended up with a crash, right? And how many were in victory lane?
I lost track, man. I think I've wrecked more than victory lane.
Well, for the top 2 in the championship, we're right now tied. Mathis Wells, Tim Gary. Talladega has not been nice to them. Mathis Wells, over his career at Talladega, has an average finish of 27th with only 4 laps led. And he's normally finished 37, overall he's finished 37 positions lower than where he started here at Talladega. So, I mean, he's never finished inside the top 10 here, never finished inside the top 5. For Tim Gary, very similar. He has 2 less starts, but he has 2 top 10s, but his average finish is still only 21st. So, Trey, the top 2 in the championship, they haven't raced well here at Talladega. They haven't led many laps here at Talladega. What's that going to be like? Mathis Wells starts 5th today. Tim Gary failed inspection. He's all the way at the back of the field in 41st. So, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of starting position, but you know, Trey, that means nothing here at Talladega.
Yeah, it does not matter where you start at all. You could be the 18 starting on the front row, and guess what? 2 laps from, the start of the green flag, Joe, you're back in last, right? So it truly does not matter where you start here. The only thing that matters is that where you're at within 5 laps to go, because at that point, if you're inside the top 10, I'd say you've got one of the best chances of winning this thing. Per se, wreck doesn't occur, and then that's a whole different story. But yeah, it's going to be it'll be interesting to see how these 2 guys are going to deal with their race, because they're starting on 2 different sides of this pack.
And the only thing that really does change from that inspection failure for Tim Gary is that he was set to start in 5th place, Mathis Wells in 6th. So Tim was probably thinking, starting 5th, you could maybe go up there and lead the first lap on the inside lane. Now he's not having to think about leading the first lap, but just get through the first few laps. We saw earlier in the spring, there was an early crash towards the back of the field. That's where Tim Gary's going to be early on in this race. So he has to try and avoid if there's any early chaos that happens towards the back middle of the field. Meanwhile, Mathis Wells now, who was going to start 6th, now starts 5th. He's going from, I have to try and get back to the back of the field and stay out of trouble while doing that. Now he's going to think, maybe I can lead the first lap or 2, get 5 bonus points that way. So it's going to be fascinating to watch. Can Mathis Wells get up front early on, or does he get shuffled back? And likewise, can Tim Gary move through the field cleanly and try and get there and lead a lap for bonus points as well? It's going to be fascinating to watch those top 2 in the championship and where they all kind of cycle out, because if they don't finish all that well, Luke Gray's not that far back. Lathan Strickland's within 200 points. Keegan Thompson, Eli Brights are also knocking on the door if the front 2 in the championship do not finish well here today at the Talladega Superspeedway. As we go take a look at the track facts, it's a beautiful September day for racing here in Alabama. 92 degrees, just a little bit of wind. It's a perfect, picturesque day here in Alabama. 2.66 miles is the track length. That's 4.28 kilometers. 38 lap race. That's just about 101 miles. No pit stop required here today. They can go all 38 laps on a tank of fuel, but the tires will be a little bit worn towards the end of the race. It's a bumpy racetrack. Let's see how handling comes into play towards the end of this race. 33 degrees banking in the corners, 18 in the tri-oval, and 3 degrees on the straights. So a lot of banking in the corners to hold these cars to go basically full throttle around this 2.66 mile racetrack. And the 8 drivers that are going home not racing here today: Henry Guo in the 0, John Barrymore the 14, Nathan Baird in the 22, Colin Teague the 49, Marcus Lerb in the 50, Joe Staups in the 51, Tegan Fox the 59, and Angel Gutierrez in car number 70. But it's about time to get going. Going on trackside, fire the cars up. for the 2004 EA Sports 500. 6 races left in the championship.
Drivers, start your engines.
Car 9, Craig, when you're ready. Fired up when you're ready. Fired up. Copy, Joe. You got me.
42 cars filtering off pit road for the EA Sports 500 here at the Talladega Superspeedway. The audience picked to win here today, starting in 4th place, one of the best drivers on Superspeedways over his career, Justin Atkins. He's been very consistent as of late, but he hasn't finished inside the top 10 in 5 of the last 7. He's got 11th to 16th, but he has 5 top 10s here at Talladega in 7 starts. His average finish here is just about 12th. That's the second best among active drivers with more than 1 start. So Atkins, a great pick for the audience here today, starting in 4th place. He's a shot to try and win here today at the Talladega Superspeedway. But Trey, who's your pick to win here today in the EA Sports 500?
I'm going with the guy who's starting a little bit farther back in the pack. He's driving the number 1 car, and his name is Anthony Hernandez. He hasn't been very loud majority of the season, right? Which is it's a little strange for someone like him. But I think the aggressiveness with how he drives is really going to suit him here today, and I think he's going to find his way up to the front of the pack pretty quickly here, and he's just going to stay up there because he's just not going to let anyone else pass him.
Been on the struggle bus as of late. 15 race streak, Trey, where he hasn't finished inside the top 10. He's looking to change that here today. He does have 3 top 10s and 9 starts at Talladega, and his teammate, his prior teammate, Lathan Strickland, for that same company, won here a few seasons ago. So we know that these DEI cars can be fast at the Super Speedways, and they're coming off great momentum from Eli Bright winning at Darlington. My pick is just a few rows up on the outside. Nathan Stapleton, the 42. We saw how great he did earlier this season in the dual races at Daytona. We know Chip Nasty Racing can bring some fast Super Speedway cars. I think they're going to do that here today for Nathan Stapleton, and he'll get his first ever points victory here in the Nextel Cup Series at the Talladega Superspeedway from the mid-pack starting spot. The pace car is in. At the front of the field, it's Riley Sprotube and Chris Jericho, 2 drivers that have kind of turned their seasons around the last few races and looking to continue it here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Sprotube's never won here. Jericho won here in 2000 in the fall. As they come through the tri-oval to take the green flag, the start-finish line past the tri-oval down towards turn 1. There's the green flag, and we're underway in the 2004 EA Sports 500. See with the restrictor plates on the car, it's going to take about a lap to a lap and a half to get up to full song as they're still building speed up the back straightaway, nearing 190 miles an hour now in this draft. 3 wide, a few rows back, still double wide at the front of the field. Sprotube on the inside, Jericho on the outside. Sprotube using the lower lane to his advantage to get a push from Burnett and clear Jericho off turn number 4. Burnett and Wells are looking low into the tri-oval. Wells going for a second 3 wide. Sprotube trying to keep the lead. They're all going to stay double foul for now as they enter into the tri-oval. And Riley Sprotube from pole leads the first lap of the EA Sports 500.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, you know that these cars are still getting up to full speed right here. It takes about a lap and a half, possibly even at times 2 laps. But, once they are up to full song here, that's where we're going to see what everyone is really feeling like today. If they're going to be racy or if they're going to really pace themselves to get to the end of this thing, and then, they'll turn it up a couple of notches. But it's always hard to tell within the first couple of laps.
Riley Sprotube doing a good job so far holding both the lanes. Jericho and Burnett kind of staled behind. Double wide is now Burnett's trying to clear the 18. Mathis Wells trying to get to 3rd by his teammate Jericho. As they come off turn number 4, Wells going to look left on Burnett with Belladonna behind. Belladonna gets shoves to the middle by Keyshawn Richardson, his teammate. Hunter Reed, winner here earlier in the season, coming on the inside as Riley Sprotube continues to lead here at Talladega. 3 wide for a good majority of the pack. Tim Garrett still hanging out back in 41st trade, not making any progress to the front of the field. Just hoping that maybe settles down at the moment, and then he can start moving his way through the field.
Yeah, I think for now that's the smarter plan, because if something does end up going wrong, he's got plenty of time to back out of it and miss it all. But I don't think he has anything to worry about right now. Even if the 20 does end up leading 1 lap, that means nothing at this point, because if Tim Garrett does want to push, he can probably get up there in a decent amount of time. So I'm not against what he's doing.
Well, now Wells might join him towards the back because he's now falling back. He got put high by Keyshawn Richardson, who looks like he has a fast forward. And now he's going to get put even higher, maybe. Burnett's not going to do that. Wells gets down. He's going to try and stay in the middle, maybe here. As you can see, DeLello and Kukla moving to his inside. Hunter Reed up to third. Here comes Lathan Strickland, winner here in 2002, with Luke Rennie, the 88, third in the points. So if Luke wants to get back into this championship fight after a bad Darlington, this could be the day to do it. If he can possibly finish well here today, and Wells and Gary both kind of slip back, that 136-point gap that he has up to those front two, it could easily disappear. As for the lead, Richardson with his teammate DeLello looking out on Riley Spurley-Tube, and that 99, even with no help, strong to stay beneath the 28 of Spurley-Tube.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a teammate behind him there, so that's always a confidence booster here at a place like Talladega or, Daytona at super speedways where you guys can work together here. But it's a lot of confidence booster when your teammate tries to go to the inside like he's looking to do, but the 99 is going to be able to stay out front.
So Keyshawn Richardson with a push from teammate Zachary DeLello as they're 4 wide up towards the front of the field. That could be a disaster with how far up they are. I think they're going to sort it. Hunter Reed backs out of it on the outside. Smart move there for the 45 driver, and they sort it back to 3 wide, but that was up inside the top 5. That could have been big early on, but now at the front of the field, Richardson, DeLello leading the way. Here comes Luke Rain trying to get some bonus points for leading a lap. Ahmed Walid is with him. Then you have Roberto Crown Jr., teammate to Hunter Reed, who won here earlier this season. Nathan Orman and Jerry Chen with his teammate Keegan Thompson behind. Thompson has won here before as well. He's been very strong at the super speedways. Here he is moving up on the inside, but Luke Rennie chasing Richardson down off turn number 4, using the draft to his advantage, trying to get low and get 5 points for leading a lap. But Ahmed Walid gets low first, and he'll look for second place into the tri-oval, but not enough to make it work.
Yeah, it definitely. If you have, the front two guys really linked together here, they can really control these things. We've seen it time and time again, but we'll have to see if these guys get a surge onto the backstretch here to try to make a move on Luke Rainey or even have enough to get up to the 99 of Richardson. But right now, I mean, I'm impressed with how these guys are racing. Pretty calm, pretty, relaxed for how we're used to seeing these group of guys race.
Well, here comes Luke Rain for the lead, but as you mentioned, yeah, it's pretty calm. Mostly double wide at the front of the field, then some 3 wide further back. But up front, it's double wide for the lead. Luke Rennie trying to get 5 bonus points there towards the championship. Enters 136 points behind Mathis Wells and Tim Gary. Here he is, though, moving up on the inside lane. No help behind him, though. That could kind of hinder him because Crown Jr. Nathan Norman are pretty far back. Richardson's getting a push from Ahmed Walid. They are dead even through the tri-oval, and Richardson pulls out the lap lead because the 88 had no one behind him to shove. They're 4 wide still, and to win, and Tim Gary's right behind that in the number 10 car. Now he's in it.
Yeah, he wants to, he might want to get out of that situation. Looks like he's good, but we're going to continue the 4 wide going off of turn 2 onto the backstretch here. We seem to be having plenty enough space. Maybe the guys in the middle are getting a little too close for comfort. We're good.
Yep, they're going to sort it out. So that was a great job once again. 4 wide, but they sorted it out here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Meanwhile, at the front, they're still deadlocked. 2 by 2 as Wells slips up top 3 wide. He's dropping back. Rainey trying to get the push from Crown Jr. Richardson getting a great push from Ahmed Walid. They stay side by side for now. Can Luke lead this lap for 5 points? He's down to the inside. Now they're 3 wide. This is going to be perfect for the 88. Luke Rainey's out in front, and he'll lead lap number 7. 5 bonus points towards the championship. That's big there. If Wells nor Gary lead a lap here today, that's 5 points that they won't be able to get.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see how stuff develops there. As you can see, these guys are, first 3 are kind of single fouled out, but now everyone else seems to be 3 by 3 except for a small group in the middle there.
Jerry Chen and Anthony Hernandez, your pick to win. Here comes that number 1 car moving up on the inside lane, trying to push Jerry Chen maybe to the inside of Luke Rennie, but Chen doesn't take the run quite yet. Laura Chung moving up for 4th. Here comes Jude Martinelli, runner-up in this race last season. He's up for 5th place. Evan Hunter won this race last season. He's won here twice. That 36 car moved up on the inside. He loves super speedways. The problem is here, Trey, at Talladega, his 2 wins are his only top 10s here. So for Evan Hunter, it's either win or bust here at the Talladega Superspeedway. He's hoping today can be a victory.
That's, I don't know if that's a good stat to have at a place like this or if that's a bad one. I don't know how you look at that.
That just shows the randomness, right, of Talladega, how you could be really good at this style of racing. We know Evan Hunter is. He's won a 500. He's won twice at Talladega. He always seems to have speed when we come here to these super speedways, but it's all about some luck to go with it as well. Speaking of luck, Matt Tuck, he's had either really good luck or really bad luck at Talladega, considering he has 2 runner-ups here in the last 3 races, and he's been oh so close to victory lane. Earlier this season finished 2nd, and last season in the spring finished 2nd, but hasn't gotten to victory lane in the Nextel Cup Series. Hoping today could be his day for building this racing, moving moving up on the inside with Sarah Kirshner, who dominated the early part of this race earlier in the season, but she couldn't find the speed at the end, couldn't find victory lane. And here at Talladega, she has good race cars normally, but just can't position herself towards the front of the field at the end of the race.
Yeah, 90% of the problem fixed. Just can't get that last 10% of, making sure you're up there near the end to have a chance of it. But you never know. Today could be the day where she turns that all around and, can get herself a win. But at the moment, we're going 3-wide racing. Never mind, we went back down to 2 for second place. I thought it was going to be a double move there on the 1 of Anthony Hernandez.
Yeah, I think the 1 maybe just a little bit slower or just kind of backing up the field, maybe looking for a run onto the 88, and I think Martinelli got a bit impatient, and right there you can see the 77 move to the inside of Laura Chung, now looking to move to the inside of the 1, so that 77 looks pretty fast here. Trey Martinelli making moves kind of all by himself, getting a little bit of a sniff of the draft from the 1, then quickly moving low. He's going to get second place at the line, and now he's hunting down Luke Rainey, entering into turn number 1.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, it seemed like once Luke got out front, he's been kind of hard to pass right now. But at the same time, these guys really haven't had a good opportunity to generate any sort of, run on the 88. So we'll have to see if maybe we're building something here. Nope, it's not going to happen if the 24 decides to duck out and not help the 77. But that's just a product of this type of race. And again, you got to take the runs when you get them.
Jerry Chen took that run when he got it. He has Nathan Ormond a few car lengths behind to try and help him out here as Ormond trying to get up towards the front of the field. His teammate Benny Lynn a few rows back in that number 40 car. The inside it's kind of broken apart right now. No one can really stay together on that bottom lane. See Benny Lynn now moving out 3 wide. That's going to hurt the inside even more. But Trey, something I'm noticing, middle of the field, Tim Gary, Mathis Wells, they are bumper to bumper in traffic with nowhere to go but backwards. You can see them. They are basically stuck right in the middle of the field. They are 20th and 23rd. That is as middle of the field as you can get here at Talladega. So they're in the middle of the storm right now. That front 2 in the championship, they are tied, and they can't get away from each other.
Yeah, if they can't go top or bottom, I don't know if you would really want to go top either way, because every time you get to the top, Joe, you just you just go straight backwards. But right now, yeah, they are they're kind of forced to help each other out right now, which has got to be a little strange.
Do you think this is like when you're on the highway and someone cuts you off and then you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic and you just kind of have to follow them through, and you don't want to be following them because you're angry at them, but you have nowhere to go otherwise?
Oh, it is 100% that case, but the only difference here is that it's just not you can hit him, you can bump him here. It's just might not turn out that way.
You won't get pulled over for that? You won't have to pull over, exchange insurance information?
Not by the police, but you might have other drivers enforcing the laws of racing afterwards.
Well, at the front of the field, still some shuffling, but still Luke Rainey leading this race. Jay Brando, winner of the Daytona 500, race number 1 of the season, hasn't won since race number 2 this season. Brando moving up in second place. Conrad Evans, the last time he won in the Nextel Cup Series, right here at Talladega last spring. As of late, Evans has been strong. 7 of his last 8 races have been finishes inside the top 13. Now he's inside the top 3 here at Talladega, going for second on Jay Brando. We know the RCR cars, Trey, they can be strong at these super speedways, and right now, Conrad Evans showing the strength of that 31, but does he have the strength to pass the 88 of Luke Rainey, who's led for about 6 straight laps here at Talladega? Bibi Ruiz up for 3rd place. Samet Oskin has won here before in the 81 car, winner here in 2002 in the fall. Oskin is up to 4th with Richardson right behind him, trying to get back up to the front with Anthony Hernandez and Sarah Kirchner. Ruiz leaves Evans, and Tim Gary gets down in line, maybe not. Now he gets back up.
Yeah, this second place just cannot seem to generate any sort of run on this 88, and 3rd place always seems that they want to have a chance at it, but someone that might be able to, because he was up front at one point, fell back, came right back up front, Joe. It's that 99 of Richardson.
Yeah, Keyshawn, those Roush cars look pretty fast here today. We've basically seen all 5 of them at some point here today towards the front of the field. And Richardson, now with Hernandez behind him, can he be the one to get by the 88 of Luke Rainey? I think the car that actually passed him to get him out of the lead was the 88 car. So once that pass happened, the 88 hasn't been touched since, but now here comes Richardson. Great run off turn 2, has forward momentum. We'll see if it stalls or if he can try and take a left to the inside. There he goes. Keyshawn Richardson, great run. Maybe, Trey, maybe it's just a Ford thing here today. Maybe the Fords are the strongest manufacturer. Maybe there's some horsepower underneath those hoods that the other manufacturers don't have, but right now it's Ford versus Ford. Richardson and Luke Rainey for the 2nd time today, with Skylar Taylor coming up in the 09 car. Great run for Taylor here today.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a well job here. Possibly might even be looking to go for the lead here. I thought they were going to duck it low, but they decided better not, and right behind the fast car right now.
Yeah, Keyshawn Richardson, the fast lane forward. Now you have Taylor, Tuck, Stapleton all on the inside, so the underdogs are pushing Richardson into the wind. Richardson trying to get the lead and clear Luke Rainey. Skylar Taylor trying to get up for second place, one of the underdogs of the race. Matt Tuck looking for one spot better here this time at Talladega. Right now rides third on the inside. Stapleton was riding fourth. He might get shuffled middle by Richardson's teammate Tyler Belladonna, who's moving to the inside of the 17 car with Matthew Burnett and Zach DeLello, and then Hunter Reed and Pre McShane moving up on the inside. But even with little help on the outside for Luke Rainey, still hanging with that 9-9, but I think Richardson might finally have him clear as a 4 wide again off 4. Atkins and Chung are in the middle. Zidell's down low. Up top, Jacob Miller and Anthony Hernandez. This could be close through the tri-oval and into turn 1.
This might not good as long as they give each other space. We're going to be good. A little contact.
Oh, no!
Oh, it's not even them that's wrecking.
Ryan Wilson, Mathis Wells is getting hit into Evan Hunter with Jerry Chen. But
he should be all right.
Yeah, he may have escaped that with just side damage, but Jerry Chen, Jacob Miller, and Ryan Wilson get the worst of it. Caution flag is out. Here's the field racing back around. Richardson clears Luke Rainey out in front with Matt Tuck going for a second. Now the field has to be careful here, Trey, to not wreck coming back to the caution flag.
Yeah, this is always the scarier situations, especially at places like this. You know, they're still going to go full out because these restarts mean everything here, and so far so good. We're clean. I only see 3 wide. No more cases of 4 wide at the moment. And we're good.
Jericho's shoving Tim Gary up. Is that a teammate trying to help another teammate out there, trying to make sure Tim doesn't get that spot at the caution?
I mean, it worked. He passed him.
He did, yeah. I thought they were going to wreck there. I thought he was going to try and shove Tim up into the guy up top, but luckily they cleared that out. Now, the guys at the back have to be careful. You can see Randall take it to the apron. He's saying, I don't want to be a part of any of this. He's
Seems like we always have our most incidences under yellow whenever we're trying to slow it down compared to being green.
And these guys back here that kind of fell off the pack, they have to be careful here. Obviously, the brake package they run at Super Speedway is not as good, not as strong as some of the others. So, especially Mathis Wells is at the back of this. Don't do any damage to your car, and they're going to be good as long as he doesn't get hit by Ryan Wilson.
Well, that car's damaged, so he might want to duck out below that yellow just in case.
Yeah, just
we should be all right.
Yeah, I think they're. Yeah, look at these guys have done a great job. They're just basically stopping here on the backstretch to make sure they don't hit anyone. So, Ryan Wilson, Jerry Chen, and Jacob Miller get the worst of this. We're gonna have to see, Trey. Does Mathis Wells' team? They're already at the back. They had some slight, contact there. I could see maybe a little bit of wrinkle on that front fender with the hood maybe peeled away a little bit. Does that 20 team decide to maybe come down? They're already at the back, and we probably know that these 3 back here are going to come down pit road anyway. Just do some checks, make sure the tires aren't rubbing, or is that something the Spire can just say, I think it looks good from up here, you don't have to come down pit lane?
I mean, as long as they don't see any smoke and it doesn't look like it'll affect the car too much, they could just say stay out. He didn't really take a hit. He more took of a he was just kind of sandwiched between 2 cars. So I think the biggest worry would be like a tire rub from a situation like that, as we are trying to figure out those lineup here, maybe.
Yeah, someone's getting yelled at to go up into position. Might be Nathan Stapleton, that 42 car, and it's always kind of an interesting scenario here at Talladega. You don't want to cause anything under caution, so you're being very careful here. And honestly, they have about 4 laps to figure this all out, and I'm sure NASCAR wanted them to figure out before they got to the open pit road, so no one was pitting out of order, but looks like they sorted it out. So now the question will be with Mathis Wells. See, Evan Hunter, he's coming down. He was one of them that sandwiched with Wells, and Mathis is going to come down. So I think they're just saying better safe than sorry. We're already one of the last cars in the pack anyway. As long as we beat the 15, 24, 9 on a pit road, we're going to be basically where we were anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely don't want to blow a tire to a place like this with the speeds they're going. So I think it's the safer option as long as you can beat the damaged cars off pit road. I don't think it's going to hurt them any.
Oh, so here comes Mathis Wells down pit lane. See, Evan Hunter, he might have even more damage than what the 20 car had. And I think that was from when the 20 kind of slammed into him. So here comes Wells. We'll see if they kind of beat that hood down a little bit, pull out the sides. I don't think they're going to be taking tires because you don't really need to do that. Their main focus is just fixing this damage that's on the number 20 car. See, they're beating out the side, and that was a quick release for Mathis Wells. So they're thinking that's all they need to do, kind of pull fenders out, beat the side out, and they're good to go. My only concern is that there is a wrinkle on that front fender where the hood meets the fender, but we'll have to see. I think in the draft it should be fine.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to affect the car very much, if any, at all. I think he'll be able to stick with the pack here and still make moves up towards the front. But we'll have to see whenever we go back racing.
Well, the caution flag is out. All 42 cars are still left running. Keyshawn Richardson is the leader. Let's go check out what happened. A mini crash towards the back of the field near the midway point. 4 wide, exiting the tri-oval across the start-finish line, and this is just a weird 4 wide scenario. There's cars literally everywhere, and Jerry Chen, Ryan Wilson, I think Wilson was almost clear in the bottom. Chen maybe thought that, didn't give him enough room. They got hooked together. Jacob Miller, an innocent bystander, into the outside wall. Mitchell Collins, Stu Martinelli, and Cement Oskin do a great job missing this. Chen comes down off the wall, gets Mathis Wells, and that's where the damage on the 20 comes in with him rubbing off Evan Hunter. But otherwise, that's the worst of it for Mathis Wells, and the worst of it for Jerry Chen comes after he kind of comes up and slides into the wall, and then Jacob Miller runs into him.
Yeah, this is the hardest hit of the entire wreck. So I mean, if that's saying something for a Talladega-based wreck, that's the hardest hit. We got away pretty scot-free.
Yes, we did. Only 3 cars with major damage, about 5 collected overall, with Wells and Hunter getting minimal damage, and they should be able to maintain touch with the lead group. As we'll go take a look at this wreck one more time in full speed. Here's another view of the crash in full speed. Jerry Chen, Ryan Wilson together right here with Jacob Miller, and those are the 3 cars that get the most, with Wells and Hunter sustaining minimal damage right there. Great job, though, by everyone behind to slow down and not run into those guys and just make it 3 cars that got involved majorly.
Yeah, 100%. They did a fantastic job, and again, for Talladega wrecks, this is pretty minimal, and this is a pretty clean one in the grand scheme of things. So I don't think, other than the ones involved, I don't think there's anything to complain about.
Yep, most of the field gets away scot-free, and they're going to be racing for the win in the second half of this race. Keyshawn Richardson is the one leading the pack. Can he win for the 4th time this season for Roush Racing? We're going to find out as we go back green in the EA Sports 500 at Talladega. Back here on JRTV, 17 laps to go when we get the green flag. All 42 cars still running in this race. Obviously, the 3 at the back with major damage, Jacob Miller, Jerry Chen, and Ryan Wilson. They've done a great job repairing all those cars, repairing the 36 and the 20. So we'll have to see how Mathis Wells gets going on this restart, if he can try and stay with touch with the draft, keep it up there and get some spots. I don't know if the car will be great if it gets out to the lead, but being in the draft should be fine to pull it along with Evan Hunter. And we'll have to see how Ryan Wilson, Jerry Chen, and Jacob Miller do. Obviously, those 3 cars took the biggest hit in that crash. So we have Keyshawn Richardson in the lead, Luke Rennie in 2nd, Matt Tuck is 3rd, Hunter Reed is 4th, Matthew Burnett is 5th, and Pre McShane up in 6th, Tyler Belladonna 7th, Zachary DeLello in 8th, Zachary Couture Sr. in 9th, and Skylar Taylor completes the top 10. They have Nathan Stapleton, Comrade Evans, Justin Seidel, Jay Randall, Baby Ruiz, Benny Lynn, Chris Jericho, there's Tim Gary, there's Ahmed Walid, and there's the number 1 of Anthony Hernandez. That should be the top 20 cars for the restart here in the EA Sports 500 at Talladega. So Gary and Wells, neither of them have led a lap here today. Luke Rennie so far led the most laps in this one. We'll have to see if that can continue on as we come to take the green flag. Richardson trying to break up that most laps that Luke Rennie has so far. As the green flag is back waving. Richardson not a great jump. Luke Rennie a little bit better. Matt Tuck a little bit better. We'll see if they look low into turn 1, if they have the space to do it. They don't have the time to make it work. Those McShane goes for 5th on Matthew Burnett.
Yeah, Burnett got hung out. He is all by himself here, so he better find a place in line before these guys, really get going here, and he gets left behind and drops back a lot of positions. But right now, oh my goodness,
that was big right there. McShane, Hunter Reed kind of made the move at the same time. Luckily, Reed nosed it the last second and didn't go all the way down and block McShane. The 00 making big moves on this restart, going from 6th to 4th in just 1 lap so far, and having to run onto Matt Tuck in the 23 car. Luke Rennie, the 88, still stuck behind Keyshawn Richardson for now. As they exit turn number 4, McShane with a run, going to dive low for 3rd place. What a jump for Pre McShane in that 00 car, moving up 3 spots on the restart. Normally you don't really see that here at Talladega, but here it is for McShane. She does it. She's going to get up to 3rd place, now chasing down the 2 Fords, leading the way at Talladega, as here comes Luke Rennie for the lead on Richardson to turn 1.
This is going to be interesting here because Richardson has no help, so there's no way he's going to be able to really fight for the lead here. But the real question is his teammate going to jump up? Either of his teammates going to jump up. None of them go up to help him.
And here comes McShane for the lead on Luke Rennie up the back straightaway. McShane down to the inside. DeLello leaves Belladonna to make it a Roush 3 wide. And at the back of the field tree, it looks like Mathis Wells is losing the draft in that number 20 car. Evan Hunter looks like he's keeping it, but Wells looks like his damage is more than the 36 car, and he's starting to kind of fall off the pack a little bit.
That's interesting because it did not look like whatsoever that the 36 had more damage than the 20. So they must be still dealing with a tire rub of some sort or something along those lines to where that 20 is struggling to keep pace with the rest of this field. So we'll have to see what all develops out of that. But right now, we're still racing 3-4 wide for the lead as we have a 2-car breakaway.
And it's two Zachary's. Zachary DeLello, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. lead the way at Talladega. Evans up to third. Rando for fourth on the inside as well. At the back, Evan Hunter even starting to lose touch with the main draft. So these three that were damaged, and then there's Matt as well as in that 20, all by himself with Evan Hunter also at the back of the field. So right now, if you're someone like Luke Rainey, Lathan Strickland, Eli Bright, Keegan Thompson, this number 10 car, you're hoping he starts to fall back, and he can't finish all that well, because if he falls back, and we know Wells is going to finish poorly if there's no more cautions, and if Gary falls back to finish poorly, could really open that championship picture up.
Yeah, and we just thought it was going to be a 2-car breakaway, Joe, but it looks like these guys are really trying to make it as many cars as they can, right? But, yeah, I think, with that being said, I don't think the 10's going to have any friends out there.
No, but for Tim Gary, the big thing for him is that he's on the inside moving up in this main draft. So, I mean, if he finishes well today, he could take it from 2 cars bound for the championship to just being like, I'm the sole, the sole guy trying to fight for this championship. So, Tim Gary right now in a good position, but it's Talladega. That can change over these final 13 and a half laps. So, he's looking good right now up inside the top 15 on the inside moving forward. But he can easily get the timing wrong, fall back, and finish outside the top 25 and have no shot at gaining many points on Mathis Wells and lose points to drivers like Luke Rainey, Lathan Strickland, Eli Bright, Keegan Thompson that are inside the top 6 in the point standings. At the front, still DeLello leading the way. Cars have again shuffled out for second. It's Benny Lynn up to second now with a push from Skylar Taylor in the 09 in third place. So how about Skylar Taylor, though, Trey, here today? Well, we've probably mentioned their name more today than any other, all the races combined this season, and they've just continued to stay at the front of the field. Even when they get shuffled back, they immediately find their way back to the front of the field.
Yeah, that's the fun things about these super speedways, right? It gives the opportunity for, drivers and teams that don't really have, the opportunity at other tracks to really show the stuff that they got in. This 09 crew is really making it worth it right now, and they're definitely in contention to go out and win this thing. As long as the cards fall into their favor, they will have a chance.
Pushing DeLello up in the outside. Benny Lynn on the inside has no help from Tyler Belladonna. That 17 can't get to the 40 right now, so Benny Lynn made that move for the race lead, but right now it's not working out because the 40 has no help, and Belladonna just does not look strong enough to get up to that 40 car. It's surprising to see, but that 17 just not looking all that strong right now.
Yeah, not sure what that issue is, because normally you should be able to go right up to the bumper of the car in front of you, especially if you're in the pack. But for whatever reason, the 17 does not have a power. It's actually going to allow the 7 to drop right in the line on the bottom there. So that is a good gift for the 7, a not so good look for the 17.
Yeah, so Baby Ruiz saw that opening. Spotter called clear, 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 and took it. Now can he be the one to push Benny Lynn up towards the front of that number 16 car as DeLello pulls away, but here comes Lynn with a great run off of the tri-oval. Great forward momentum, might hang a left into 1, and now he has help from Baby Ruiz. So here comes Lynn, and now the 16 has no help up top. The 40 has help down low. Benny Lynn should be the race leader now off turn 2, and he is already clear through the middle of 1 and 2.
So we'll have to see what the plan is. The front 2 cars look to be clear at the moment. It looks like the 7 of Ruiz wanted to block the 16, but he might find himself in the middle here if he can't get back down in time. That 17 might be there. Not yet.
And here comes Tim Gary for the first time today. He's inside the top 5, coming to 10 laps to go. So Gary moving up. He's up to 4th now in that number 10 car as Mathis Wells damaged is back in 39th position. Here comes Gary for 3rd place on Belladonna.
We'll have to see if he can find his way up to the front here, lead a lap, get his points, and then let's see what he decides to do after that. If he wants to stay competitive and try to stay up front. No, well, that's not going to work.
The audience pick left him out to dry. Justin Atkins, who wants a Talladega victory again, moving up for 3rd place. Drew Webb, the rookie, up in 4th place with Mitchell Collins, who narrowly missed that crash. Just a few laps to go. He's up inside the top 5, and Hunter Reed looking for the Talladega sweep, moving up 3 wide on the inside lane. Reed going for the top 5 position as Atkins moves for a second on Ruiz and takes it away. Now Tim Gary's up top 3 wide and nowhere to go but backwards.
Yeah, he's just going to fall like a rock. He might be able to slide down in position here, but he's still on the outside. So unless he can find a hole down to the bottom, Tim Gary's going to be slowly sinking farther and farther backwards into this mess of a pack back here, and that's not where you want to be coming to closing laps, where people give less and less of an inch, and they more in reality take more and more.
Well, he found that hole in front of Eli Bright, so Gary's down in line and still inside the top 10. So that worked out for Tim Gary. There was a gap between the 29 and the 8. He took it. He's on the inside again and trying to move back forward with 9 laps to go. Benny Lynn still leads this race. Atkins and Reed second and third. Burnett fourth. Martinelli fifth. You have Kukulon up on the inside. Eli Bright shuffled to the middle. Here comes Jay Brando in the 97 on the inside. Lord Shung shuffled to the middle by Jordan Stout. He has Luke Rainey behind him in the 88 car. Luke trying to move up and finish ahead of Tim Gary so he can gain points towards the championship, as Rando is trying to get the pass on Drew Webb. At the front, Hunter Reed moves to second and chops off Burnett and Jude Martinelli on the inside. He's trying to get up to Benny Lynn, but up in front of these guys, we have Jacob Miller in the 9. He's a slow car, no draft. He will hold up 1 or 2 lines and kind of change the outcome of this race with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these guys really deal with them. And right now, we got about a 2.5 car breakaway with some more of the underfunded teams, I guess you'd say, the middle of the pack teams, really showing that they got the speed at these types of tracks.
Martinelli trying to push Hunter Reed up towards Benny Lynn. That's 3 Dodges leading the way here at Talladega for Chip Ganassi Racing, Petty Enterprises, and Penske Jasper Racing as they come up onto Jacob Miller. Another Dodge. The inside's going to move. Tim Gary goes high. Can he get back down in front of Jay Brando? He does, just barely. Gary almost cost himself right there as the front 3 cars get through. Now the inside's going to go, and the outside can go nowhere but backwards. They are going to try and filter down to the inside as a few cars get away, and the outside can't go. Martinelli, Burnett, Atkins, Webb, Bright, all these other guys are held up, but Tim Gary was able to get through. He's inside the top 5.
Yeah, that was almost very questionable move by Tim Gary there if he would have went the middle or top, but looks like he was able to have enough time to make his move back down to the bottom, and he's gotten away from it as these guys are going to struggle. They got to be careful not to wreck each other trying to get past this lap car here as they're still going to struggle. Oh, no.
That's not what you need to do as a lap car. You need to hold one line. Miller was doing that until right there, and now that could cost this whole... Look at, what is he doing?
Joe, that's your driver, so...
I'm not the one in the car.
Yeah, this is not good. We might be looking 4 wide here back in the pack, Joe. We got to be careful with this situation, especially if we're going to be slowing up for the lap car. We're going to go back down to 3 wide, but this is not a good look for Miller at the moment because he is still in the bottom here. So, I mean, at least he's holding a lane. He's trying to go back up into the second lane. This is not looking good. But anyways, back up to the front.
Tim Gary's going for the lead here at Talladega, but Jordan Stout leaves him. Stout going 3 wide. Gary's trying to get the lap led, but he might not be able to because Jordan Stout made the big move into turn number 3. But for Tim Gary, this is big for his championship because where it stood with the pack all bunched together, he could have easily fallen back to finish in 25th. Now with the pack separated like this, if he stays in this main draft and no one can catch up, the worst he can finish is probably about 12th place, which is really good when Matheus Wilson's back outside the top 35. So Tim Gary, he just has to keep a clean race car, and he has one heck of a shot to extend that points lead by a wide margin.
Yeah, definitely. He is in, at this moment, he's just kind of in the hold the car clean and don't make any mistakes type of role right now, and he can go out of this day a very happy man. As you can see right behind them, it's a pack of, what was it, about 7-8 cars, all single file line there. I don't know if they're going to catch him in time to get there before the end of this thing. If they can stay organized, they'll definitely have a chance. But right now, I think it's up to these last 13 cars.
Yeah, I think it is. Jordan Stout, Jay Brando, 2 Roush cars lead the way. Then you have Anthony Hernandez in the 1, Nathan Orman in the 41, Max Davis, Matt Tuck, Layton Strickland, Riley Spurley-Tube. So Strickland and Luke Rainey. Strickland enters 4th in points, Luke Rainey 3rd in points. They need to finish at Tim Gary in any way possible to get the points they need to try and get themselves back into the championship fight. But there's only 4 laps to go at Talladega. Stout still leads. Will his teammate Randall stay with them? Stout hasn't won yet this season. It's been an interesting season for Jordan Stout. Not one we were expecting. We thought he would be up there bound for the championship. Instead, he's one fighting for wins and trying to scratch and claw and get whatever he can. Well, here he is at Talladega looking for it. But Anthony Hernandez and Max Davis and Matt Tuck, they all want something for their season that hasn't been all that great. 3 laps to go at the line. See Strickland moving by Tim Gary. And this pack of cars, I think it might just be these 13 cars for the end of this race. I just don't know if Atkins and the rest of the field have enough time. If these guys keep maybe racing like this, they have time, but I just don't know if there's quite enough. Maybe another lap or two, they'd be up here with a shot.
Yeah, it's one thing to catch the pack. It's another thing to work your way through the pack, right? So, I mean, even if they catch to the back of this, I don't know if they're going to have enough time to pass through 13 cars to get to the front of this thing, but we'll have to see what all develops right here as we got the first 4 cars about single file right now, and the rest of them are all 2x2, and, well, now it's a 2 wide for second place.
Here comes Max Davis in the 21, nearly won the Daytona night race earlier this season. He's up on the inside, moving by the 1 of Anthony Hernandez, trying to get to Jordan Stout, but no one's been able to catch the 6 since he's gotten out front. Gary, can he get down with Luke Rainey? The 88's trying to get down first so that the 10 can't get spots, and Luke's trying to get every point that he can. Lathan Strickland had great positioning, gets shuffled to the middle there by Riley Spurtube. The pole sitter coming back up late with 2 laps to go at Talladega. Spurtube is in it to win it. Benny Lynn is coming back to the front. Hunter Reed looking for the sweep. Luke Rainey looking for points on Tim Gary. And Atkins is basically in the pack now, so he's leading this train. They have a great run coming. Gary needs to get low now before the 3 car gets there.
We'll have to see if he makes that move. Looks like he's going to, but the question is the 3 going to stay behind the 10, or is he going to take the run that he's probably going to generate from this and go even lower? I don't think he's going to have a chance, but we're 3 wide for second place right now, Joe. This is not how you pass that 6 for the lead, but we'll have to see if something happens. And the strongest car of the day, Luke Rainey, he's coming back up to the front.
He is, and is he doing it at the right time? He's pushing Benny Lynn, who has a great run off 4. Lynn is looking low on Jordan Stout to the tri-oval. He's there to the inside. Benny Lynn for the lead, and through the tri-oval, he takes it away. This is the white flag lap. 1 lap to go at Talladega. Benny Lynn leads the way. Luke Rainey going for another win in second place with Jay Rando in third. Kukulon and Tim Gary also on the inside moving forward.
We're going to have to see what goes down on the backstretch here, Joe. Who's going to be able to generate a run here? These guys aren't really close, so it's going to be questionable if they can. Luke Rainey's going to try to get up to the back. We'll see if he ducks to the inside. I don't think he's going to have any help that way. He's not going to have any heads of steam to try to make a pass.
Here he goes! Luke Rainey got the draft, he got the run, he got to the inside! Luke Rainey for the lead on the last lap at Talladega. Third in the points, trying to get closer to the points lead. Does Rando have any sort of run off turn number 4? Rainey makes it stick on the bottom lane. He has the push from his Ford teammate Jay Rando, and into the tri-oval. It's all number 88. Luke Rainey is going to win the EA Sports 500 at Talladega.
Well, I don't think you can argue that he wasn't the strongest car of the day.
That's very true. That was a super speedway masterclass by Luke Rainey here today. And he played that just right. Trey, I was with you. I didn't think he was going to be able to make that move because he had no push from behind, but that car was just so strong, he just used the draft from in front of him to make the move and didn't need any push to make the move.
Yeah, so I mean that just tells you that how strong this car was up in front here. I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean there was a whole half a car length to even a full car length in between him and the 97. So I did not think there was going to be any sort of momentum going to that 88, but he proved me wrong and was able to make a move there going into 3, held it all the way into the tri-oval, and then eventually passed the start-finish line there and came away with the win. So a very strong showing from this 88, and that's exactly what he needs for this championship race.
That's a big point stand with where Mathis Wells finished. You know, Luke could be very close and might even be second in points now, leaving Talladega, because Tim Gary finished very well, so he's not going to gain too many points on Tim, but he's going to gain a lot of points on Mathis Wells, and that's big there for his championship chances. He's at least keeping it close to Tim Gary, close enough to have the 10 stumbles over these final 5 races. The 88 can be there, but the field is coming in, and there could be some more coming in later on because a lot of these guys get held up by lap traffic, and I mean, unfortunately for them, you know, Jacob Miller didn't do the best job as a lap car here today. He was holding the middle, holding the top, which is what you're normally supposed to do at Super Speedway, and it was kind of like as soon as the first half of the field went by, he just kind of chopped off the rest and said, you're not getting through, and unfortunately for a lot of those guys, cost them a chance at a good result here today. And for Mathis Wells, what a bad day was this. He's come down the pit lane, Trey, started this race inside the top 5, never got to lead a lap, got involved in that crash. It looked like minimal damage, but it ended up being a lot more than just minimal.
Yeah, I would not have thought something like that was going to cause that big of an issue, but that just goes to show you that the smallest things can really hinder someone's race, and he's not going to be the happiest camper after this.
Oh, he is not. He still has 5 races left to try and chase down Tim Gary, but it's going to be a lot harder now with what happened here today. Luke Rainey ends up in victory lane in the EA Sports 500 with a last lap pass of Benny Lynn. Jay Rando gets up to finish in second place here today. That's big for Rando because, I mean, his average finish the last 3 races has been 31.3. So this really helps him out. Benny Lynn leading on the white flag lap, but didn't have it through turns 3 and 4. Got put to the outside, but still ends up with a very solid 3rd place. Kukulon ends up in 4th here today, showing the pace of the RCR cars again. And Tim Gary, the points leader, top 5 here today at the Talladega Superspeedway. That will net him the points lead by himself now. Remember, he was tied with Matthews Wells. He easily gains that and a lot more over Wells. Jordan Stout looked for that first win of the season. Came close, but not quite enough in 6th. Justin Atkins ends up in 7th. With Riley Spiritube 8th from the pole. They have Keyshawn Richardson, one of the stronger cars here today, in 9th. And Hunter Reed completes the top 10 in that number 45 car. Nearly got a 2nd straight Talladega victory. Lathan Strickland, he loses points to Tim Gary, but at least kind of minimized the points loss. Strickland ends up at 11th with Matt Tuck and Mitchell Collins. They're 12th and 13th. Then Matthew Burnett, Bibi Ruiz, Nathan Ormond, Pri McShane, Anthony Hernandez, Lord Chung, Max Davis, the top 20. And then down here, last cars in the pack were Martinelli, Eli Bright, and Drew Webb. So we gained about 10 more cars there with that second pack kind of forming in. For Eli Bright, he's going to lose points, obviously, with his 22nd place, and he entered 213 points behind. It's going to be a bit more than that now after he finishes, was at 17 spots behind Tim Gary. And then out of the pack, DeLello and Fitzwater, we saw them leading towards the midway point. See, Jericho, he was on a string of good races the last 2, kind of drops him down again. Keegan Thompson entered 5th in points, not going to leave there with his 29th, and that could take him out of the championship fight. Zidell was looking for something here today, couldn't get it done, and Evans was looking to continue his momentum. Crown Jr. and Ahmed Walid. See, David Dixon lost the draft in the 39, Evan Hunter lost the draft, and then Mathis Wells ends up 39th here today in a pack with Ryan Wilson and Jerry Chen, and the only car 1 lap down, Jacob Miller, caused a lot of havoc on the race here today at the Talladega Superspeedway. So we take a look at the points. 5 races left in the championship fight. It is Tim Gary now on top. Mathis Wells, Luke Rainey trying to close in and trying to keep touch with Tim. But right now, Trey, it is the number 10 championship to lose, but still 5 races left and 5 very crazy racetracks.
Yeah, I don't think it's over till it's over, right? We've seen some unique situations over the past couple of races where it definitely hindered some of the front runners for this championship, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple more here before the end of the season. So I don't know if Tim Gary's really feeling that safe right now. And I wouldn't blame him.
Well, Trey, after these last 2 races, right, we talked about how crazy they are. Southern 500 at Darlington, we saw how crazy that was. Now here at Talladega, not as crazy, but still, nerve-wracking if you're in the race car, right? So maybe let's calm down, right? Let's take a deep breath, calm down, move on to the next race, which is at the Lowe's Motor Speedway for the UAW GM Quality 500. So, I mean, we've seen what happened at Lowe's in the past. Can you really be calm going there either? No,
it's a miniature Talladega at this point, right? With the amount of carnage we've seen there, I don't think these guys' heart's gonna slow down anymore after from now until then.
Well, that will start out the last 5 races of the season. We'll have to see how it plays out, these final 5 races. We have a lot of 1.5-mile racetracks, and you throw in the 1-mile tough Rockingham Speedway. That's going to be a fun final 5 races to determine the 2004 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series champion. Today, Luke Rainey, the 88, claims victory once again here in 2004 and keeps himself in the championship fight with a well-timed last lap pass of Benny Lynn. Congratulations to he and the 88 team on a dominating day here in Talladega. For Trey Bardo and Joe Rukowski, so long, but tune into JRTV next Saturday night for the UAW GM Quality 500 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway.